The moment you feel most alone might be the moment you are closest to Allah. But it doesn't feel that way, does it? It feels heavy, quiet in a way that almost hurts, like the world is moving on without you while you're stuck in your own thoughts. There are nights where your phone is silent, no messages, no distractions, just you, and everything going on inside your mind. You start thinking about people who left, conversations that ended, moments that didn't go the way you hoped. And slowly, that feeling settles in. Loneliness. Not just being alone physically, but feeling like no one really understands what's going on inside you. So you ask yourself, why? Why does it feel like this? Why does silence feel so loud? And why, when everyone disappears, does everything inside you become clearer? What if that feeling you've been trying to escape isn't something to run from? What if it's trying to show you something? In this video, you're going to see loneliness differently. Not as emptiness, but as a moment that might be bringing you closer to Allah, in a way you never noticed before. Loneliness isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's quiet in a way that slowly creeps in without you noticing. You can be surrounded by people, talking, laughing, scrolling, and still feel completely alone inside. It's that moment when you want to say something, but you don't, because you feel like no one would really understand anyway. It's when your day ends, and there's no one you truly open up to. No one who sees what's going on beneath the surface. And even if there are people around you, something still feels missing. You start overthinking, replaying conversations, questioning your worth, wondering why certain people left, or why things didn't turn out the way you expected. And the more you sit in that silence, the louder your thoughts become. It can feel like you're carrying something heavy, but you can't explain it. Like there's a weight in your chest that doesn't go away. You try to distract yourself. You scroll, you watch, you stay busy. But the moment everything gets quiet again, it all comes back. And in those moments, it feels like you're the only one going through it. Like everyone else has someone, and you don't. But here's the truth. You're not the only one who feels this way. More people than you think go through these exact moments, silently, smiling on the outside, but struggling on the inside. And maybe that's why loneliness feels so heavy, because it's not just about being alone. It's about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected. But what if that feeling has a purpose? What if it's not just something you're going through, but something that's trying to lead you somewhere? What if in that quiet, something important is waiting to be discovered? But here's something most people don't realize in those moments. You feel alone, but you were never actually alone. Not for a single second. Because while people come and go, while conversations end and connections fade, Allah was always there. Even in the moments you didn't notice. Even in the silence you were trying to escape. Even when you felt like no one understood you. There is a verse where Allah says that He is closer to you than your own jugular vein. Closer than anything you can imagine. Closer than your thoughts. Closer than the feelings you can't even explain. And if you really think about that, it changes everything. Because how can you be truly alone when the one who created you is always with you? The problem is, we often associate presence with people. If no one is there physically, we assume we're alone. But Allah's presence doesn't depend on noise, or messages, or people being around you. It's constant. The only thing that changes is your awareness of it. And sometimes, that's exactly why loneliness happens. Because when everything else is removed, distractions, conversations, noise, You're finally left with the one connection that never left you. But instead of seeing it that way, we try to fill the silence again. We reach for our phones. We look for people. We try to escape the feeling, not realizing that maybe that silence was meant for something else. Maybe it was meant for you to pause, to reflect, to finally turn your attention to the one who has been there all along. Because the reality is, Allah didn't become closer to you in your loneliness. He was always that close. You just started noticing it. And when that realization settles in, loneliness doesn't feel the same anymore. It doesn't feel like emptiness. It starts to feel like an opportunity to build a connection that doesn't disappear, a connection that doesn't depend on people staying, a connection that remains, no matter what changes around you. And once you feel that, even briefly, you realize something powerful. You were never truly alone. You were just unaware of who was always there. And maybe that's what loneliness was trying to show you all along. Not that you had no one, but that you were never without him. And that realization can change how you see every quiet moment from now on. So what does being alone actually teach you? First, it teaches you what you truly rely on. When people aren't there, when distractions are gone, when there's nothing left to fill the space, you start to see what your heart turns to. Do you turn to Allah? Or do you immediately look for something else to escape the feeling? Because loneliness exposes that. It shows you what really has control over your heart. Second, it teaches you sincerity. When everything is quiet and there's no one to impress, no one to talk to, your dua becomes different. It's no longer rushed. It's no longer just words. It becomes real, honest, raw. Because in those moments, you're not speaking to be heard by people. You're speaking to Allah. And that kind of connection is something you don't build in noise. Third, it teaches you that not everything you lose is bad for you. Sometimes, people leave because they were never meant to stay. Sometimes, distractions disappear because they were pulling you away. And sometimes, you're left alone, so you can rebuild yourself in a better way. Finally, it teaches you that peace doesn't come from people. It comes from connection with Allah. Because people can leave, situations can change, but that connection, if you build it, stays. And once you understand that, loneliness stops feeling like something against you and starts feeling like something for you. It becomes a space where you grow, where you reflect, and where you slowly become stronger in ways you didn't expect. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. And that's what makes it meaningful, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. Because growth often begins in the moments we try to avoid the most. So maybe you feel alone right now. Maybe things are quieter than you expected. Maybe people aren't there the way they used to be. And maybe you're still trying to understand why. But what if this moment isn't what you think it is? What if you're not being pushed away, but gently brought closer? Closer to a connection that doesn't leave. Closer to a presence that doesn't fade. Closer to Allah. Because you were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. And you were never truly alone. Even in the moments where it felt like no one was there, He was. Listening. Knowing. Understanding everything you couldn't even put into words. And maybe that's what loneliness was meant to do. Not to break you, but to bring you back. Back to sincerity. Back to reflection. Back to Him. So the next time you feel that silence, don't rush to fill it. Sit with it. Reflect in it. Turn to Allah in it. Because that quiet moment might be the most meaningful one you have. And remember what Allah says in the Quran. Is not Allah sufficient for His servant? Quran 39:36. So even when you feel alone, you are not without Him. And if this reminded you of something you needed to hear, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more.